Supernatural, the show about daddy issues, haunting monsters, and how much God sucks. Main character Dean Winchester goes through a lot in this 15-season long show. Today, I will be talking about why I think he deserved his ending. Major spoiler warning for Supernatural. If you have not watched it, leave this video, go watch all 15 seasons, and come back. Trust, you will not regret it. Other warning, please don't send death threats. I am just a person with an opinion. I watched Supernatural last year for the first time after many years of putting it off. I mean, I very much knew about this show. I was in the Doctor Who and Sherlock fandoms on Tumblr in 2013, so I knew about Supernatural. I just never started the show until last year, and I avoided all spoilers for myself, which future me really appreciated, so that I would be surprised at the ending. The only ending I knew was Castiel's, because everyone knows that ending. I mean, that's how we get all of our major news now. But I finished all 15 seasons in about 4 months, and I loved almost every second of it. Yeah. Anyways, I've been absolutely obsessed with it since last summer, and I even went to a Supernatural convention in October, and I met Misha Collins, who has the kindest eyes I've ever seen on a human being. So in 2020, I remember seeing everyone being very upset about the ending, and I remember getting to the ending myself and being a little bit confused because I appreciated it and I liked it. Now, don't get me wrong, I completely understand why people wouldn't like it because everyone wants a happy ending. But Dean Winchester had to die, and it may as well been a rusty nail. Dean's entire life was dedicated to hunting monsters and saving everyone but himself. He spent his entire existence looking after his brother. Dean, even after defeating God, was still hunting monsters. We see after Dean dies that Sam presumably stops hunting and settles down because he has children. Although his child is aware of the supernatural forces in the world shown by the tattoo on his arm, he is seen studying and living a normal life in a happy house, the life Sam always wanted for him and his kids. We can assume that Sam was only still hunting and living in the bunker because of Dean. If Dean had wanted to stop hunting, I believe that Sam would have followed. We see Sam take one more case after Dean's death, but immediately after the phone call, he packs up his stuff and leaves the bunker. This doesn't necessarily mean he stopped hunting, but it does mean that he left behind the life he and Dean built together in the bunker in favor of raising a family, which, as an aside, I think Dean would be very happy about. However, Dean didn't want to quit. You can make an argument for the job application on his desk, but let's be real. Dean's entire life was hunting, and he made basically zero indication that he wanted to quit hunting, only that he wanted to die, which he both insinuated wanting and did multiple times. Also, Dean could literally never get a job as a firefighter. I'm sorry, but that man is technically dead and wanted by the FBI. Dean really only attempted to settle down once with Lisa, which, can we talk about that for a second? Because what was that about? Why was Lisa so chill with a man that she hooked up with once, moving in with her and her son? Baffling. Anyways, Dean only attempted to settle down once with Lisa, and he was hunting during that as well. Hunting is in Dean's blood. I personally do think that Dean wants a family, but he could never give up hunting. Best case scenario is he settles down with someone in the life and has a hunter family, but that would also be his worst nightmare because he would never want to raise kids into the life that he had. That, I believe, is Dean Winchester's worst fear, and the main catalyst of having Cass erase Dean from Ben and Lisa's memories. Dean does not want to burden anyone, just as he was burdened by his father. This is a quick fuck John Winchester. Just a real quick fuck John Winchester. Dean had to die because he could only be at peace in heaven. Dean was constantly wrecked on Earth with the guilt he carried. Guilt for Hal, guilt for Sam, guilt for all the friends and family that he lost. Dean would never have a peaceful day on Earth. But in heaven, he has peace. He made it. He fixed the universe and gets to bask in all of its glory, guiltless and unweighted. Not to mention, Cass is there too.
Cass helped.
And I think we can all agree that that's a major plus for Dean. This is the happy ending Dean deserves. Rest at last. Something he has been begging for since the beginning seasons. Dean Winchester, the righteous man, getting to live out his ultimate fantasy, eternal life and rest with the ones he loves most. I also think it was important for Dean to get an actual ending and not just end on episode 19, because his entire life was fighting, and we needed to see that he finally got peace, because that's what Dean Winchester deserves. Now, onto the way Dean died, which I'm pretty sure is the thing most people are upset about, and I get it, but personally, I liked it, and let me tell you why. Dean, the ultimate killer, could not be killed by a monster or apocalypse, and certainly not God. The Winchester brothers have been built up the entire show to be this kind of unstoppable force. Even God couldn't stop them, and they were mentioned multiple times in the show as main characters and legends. Dean and Sam face apocalypse after apocalypse and always come out on top. At this point, they are built up in the minds of the audience and the other characters in the show as completely all-powerful and unstoppable. Dean had to die to a rusty nail because it was important for the audience to remember that he was a human being. Dean Winchester, though he might be the main character and might have plot armor out the fucking wazoo, is still human. He has flaws, and though he might be the ultimate killer, he cannot kill off his humanity, which he kind of did for a little bit, but you know what I mean. He, at the end of it all, chose to die. He could have fought and had Sam call an ambulance, but he had finally found mercy. He was human, and it was his time to die. For good this time. All the years of being a pawn for God, the angels, and the demons are over. Dean could make one last decision for himself. He could move on. The world doesn't need him saving it anymore. He could finally rest. This is the ending Dean Winchester deserves. Death while saving two brothers, a perfect bow to his entire existence on the show. He died saving people and hunting things, but not hunting God or Amara or the devil. Dean died saving two brothers from things that go bump in the night, just like he did his entire life. It was important to end on a hunt. Slower paced episodes were the start, and it's an important callback to the smaller side of the show that became larger than life, literally. Honestly, I think Dean Winchester is one of the most well-written characters in media I have consumed, and his complexity as a character adds to the show so much. The most gracious thing the show could have done for Dean was let him rest and live out his eternity with his loved ones in heaven. The only place Dean would ever find peace, and trust, he's been all of the places. This is definitely outside the scope of my normal content, but I've been absolutely obsessed with this show for the last year, and as someone who graduated with a bachelor's in film and media production and is currently getting their master's in creative writing, I just love to pick this show apart. And I actually think all of the main characters deserved their ending, so I was thinking of making this a series with maybe my baby Castiel next. And don't get me wrong, I don't think the ending is incredible. So many things that were not great about that ending filming wise, and I know there were a lot of restrictions with COVID, so I totally understand. And I'm not saying the ending is perfect. I'm just saying peace is what Dean Winchester deserved, and peace is what Dean Winchester got. So anyways, don't hate me. This is an opinion. Okay, thanks for watching. Subscribe. Bye.